7 viewers right now. Thank you. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining on today's very special 12-hour charity stream for NaNoReNo 2022. Before I begin, I really wanted, though, to talk about why we're all here today, and I'm going to put this in the chat. Basically, there's a command I have, bang donate. That'll give you the link if you're not watching from the Tiltify page for basically the charity that we're raising money for today, which is a campaign for Southern equality. And the campaign for Southern equality is a really wonderful. It is based in North Carolina, the south of the United States, and as they describe it on their website, they're an organization that's working to build a South where LGBT people are equal in every part of life. Now, where zip code doesn't determine rights, and where all of us are free to be who we really are, love who we are. And they're a really wonderful organization. They have a lot of resources for LGBT folks. And I'm going to leave a link in the chat for everyone that wants to take a look at their work. And obviously, please go and donate and just help us raise some money for a great cause. I'm going to be donating money as well. So yeah, that's basically that's what I wanted to start with out today. I really really am thankful to be here with all of you today raising money. So thank you for everyone that's joining today. Really, really appreciate it. But yeah, I want to introduce my my first co-host for today, Meredith. Hello, Meredith. Thank you so much for joining me.
Hello, Rob. Thank you so much for inviting me and for working with me and for dealing with my erratic schedule while we were developing Portrait of a Texas Family. I've enjoyed working with you twice now, and here's hoping that we will be working together again in the future. This was an amazing experience, and okay, I'm gonna brag on the both of us a little bit. We assembled a hell of a team.
Yeah, we basically came up with this idea for this game. And by the way, Meredith, what are your pronouns for everyone watching?
Yes, thank you for asking. I go by she, her. So that is my preference. I do know that every once in a while someone will refer to me using they, them, and I do not oppose that. But she, her is preferred.
Wonderful. And my pronouns are they, them. And my name's Rob, by the way, that doesn't know. Rob.
Hey, Rob.
So Meredith and I came up with the idea for Portrait of a Texas Family when we heard about the basically the order that came down from Governor Greg Abbott at the end of February 2022, and we were really frustrated by it and really upset by it. And Meredith is based in Houston, correct?
Yes, I am. So I spent the day listening to friends who are the parents of trans children. Some of them are trans parents of trans children. So while I am not a parent, nor by extension, not the parent of a trans child, it is something that is very close to me, and that I am seeing firsthand how it is harming and instilling fear in some of the most loving and affirming parents I have ever known. These are people that adore their children, whose children want for nothing, who are loved, who are cared for immensely, and then to be told, okay, but you're child abusers. It's horrible and scary.
Yeah.
And and especially because so much of it is built off myths of what trans affirming healthcare looks like for children. especially. So not only are they being accused of something that is not even true, they're being accused based on lies,
Exactly.
outright lies. We do have resources from listed on the game's website, as well as within the game itself, that does delve into some of the myths and facts about what trans affirming healthcare looks like for children. Um, but just as a very quick overview, it it's not physical. It's typically not physical. It's more about social transitioning. You will hear people say things like, "Oh my god, but hormones and puberty blockers and um people don't realize that it's hard enough getting hormones if you're a trans adult. If you're a child with another level of approval, it's even harder. And also, something that does not get talked about is puberty blockers are in fact used in cisgender children as well. Uh, a lot of it is used for mental health reasons. It can help with curbing suicidal thoughts. Um, Under no circumstances are trans children given any kind of surgeries, but particularly the younger ones, the ones that people are freaking out the most over. Their transition affirmation is purely social.
Yeah.
The children socially transition. Um, the other thing that doesn't get talked about is the fact that if a kid is taking puberty blockers, it's reversible. It is reversible in adults. It is reversible in kids. But again, there are stacks of paperwork and approval and consent forms that you have to go through first. But the opposition is only in using it on trans children.
Yeah.
Never, I say children, teens. But no one ever opposes it being used on not on cisgender teens. I'm sorry, it's morning for me, and I'm still
All good.
nursing half a cup of coffee.
You're doing a great job.
And for one thing, arguably, we've used puberty blockers for like gymnastics and sports, which I think is a much more reckless use than making a kid happy with their life. But again, I am not a healthcare expert. I just know what I've done via my reading on the subject. I am not going into the details nearly as much as I could or should here. So I definitely recommend that you go to our page and read up on the resources that we have provided for you. Because again, all of this legislation that is being passed here in Texas, there was a temporary stay, and it is in effect right now. But it doesn't matter that it's not about legality. Sometimes they know that these things can be overturned, but what it is about is instilling fear. It's
Exactly.
about instilling bigotry. It's about spreading hate. The fact that this is happening in Texas during an election year when we have a horrible issue with things like gerrymandering and voter suppression in Texas, that is not an accident. Leadership is banking on getting votes by turning people against the LGBTQIAP+ community and making us seem like boogeymen and child abusers. So yeah, spread the realities of what everything really entails. You're not pumping their children full of chemicals. They're not giving your children surgery. It's just about making kids feel safe and happy in their own bodies. For one thing, gender is not about chromosomes and genitals like we were taught in school. Biologically, there are so many genders. There really are. A great book on the subject that I highly recommend is Julia Serrano's Whipping Girl. Julia Serrano is a trans writer. She is also a biochemist. And she writes, The Whipping Girl is an incredible book that looks into the biochemistry of gender. And yeah, guess what? There's not just two. There's not. There are so many things that go into determining gender. It isn't just it isn't just your junk and your chromosomes. We were lied to in biology class via oversimplification. But there are other factors like brain chemistry is one actually that they've been looking into. Brain structure. It's it's so varied and so interesting, and I think it's a beautiful thing that gender is so varied in the world. How boring is it if there's only two? Come on.
100%. And I mean that,
Exactly.
and that kind of leads us then into the reason why Meredith and I wrote the initial idea for Portrait of a Texas Family, and that was to create that really celebrates love, humanity, and embrace family, transgender child, and affirming house.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. Let's play a little bit of our entry into NaNoReNo, Portrait of a Texas.
Yeah.
So this was probably the biggest, basic, the biggest factor, um, for us, for me and Meredith. For one of the big
Mhm.
factors we wanted to do was have a character creator that was pretty diverse. Just gonna move my
We got a
camera out of the way.
we got a really nice comment in the chat. Ooh, the flower transition. I am a simple person from Ayel Centauria. I hope I pronounced that right.
Yeah.
I think it's gorgeous too.
Yes.
And also, hi PDYX123. Thank you so much for joining
Yes.
us.
We're gonna-
I'm watching chat. I hope you don't mind.
I'm just gonna move my camera out of the way. You can still see the frame there. I'm just gonna move my camera out of the way so we can get
Ooh.
the whole character creator there. I'm gonna go back to there once we create the character. But basically, yeah, this is our character creator that we really was inspired by Dream Daddy, which is a fantastic game, and came out in, I believe, 2017. I think it was
Yeah,
2017.
thereabouts.
Yeah, 2017 or 2018. I apologize to the developers of Daddy if you ever see it one day.
In fairness, we have determined over the past couple of years that time's not real.
Indeed. But yeah, I mean, we knew there was going to be a lot of work, but you know, I worked with a great sprite artist, MX Rook, and a great programmer, Jerry Beccarelli, and we both kind of decided that we wanted to have 4 different skin tones, 5 different hairstyles for people, and then 5 different hair colors as well. And this was also really important to us, having 3 different body sizes. You don't see that often in a lot of games. And 3 different chest sizes, which kind of corresponds to basically. Later on, we were able to select your pronouns. Wanted basically the character, basically to be represent the player, really feel immersed in the game as much as possible. There's also different eye colors and things like that, but we'll basically make a character that looks kind of close to me for today. So we'll start off with this.
Really quick, while you're doing that,
Yes,
Maxi Molina has joined us.
Hi, Maxi. Hi, Maxi. Hello.
Yay.
Maxi is the generous voice director, casting director, and script editor for Portrait of a Texas Family. They have a game out called The Hayseed Night on Steam, and they are a wonderful person, and they were a great collaborator on this. Hello, Maxi.
Hi, I failed to realize we were live. Hello.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
Just a quick note. Hayseed Night takes it takes its inspiration from medieval Spain, which is not a setting that you ever get to see in video games. So definitely check it out. It is I am such a fan of it. It is very sweet and charming and fun with gorgeous visuals.
Absolutely.
So Just wanted to plug Maxie's game there.
You're sweet. Anyway, I just want to say a quick hi because I saw you all around, and I want to say hi and thank you for having me
Of
for the
course.
project. I have the biggest cold after because I recently got to see Rob in real life.
Yes, that's right.
Wonderful.
Yeah, Maxie was able to stop over in New York City, where I'm based, where Lookout Drive Games is based, and we were able to spend some time together, basically in between layover on their flights. And by the way, Maxie, for those who don't know, what are your pronouns?
They he. Thank
They
you.
he. You're welcome. Yeah, but basically, yeah, and that's one of the things we want to do. So now, also with this game, is wanted to be able to let the player select their pronoun. He, him, she, her, or they, them. So we're gonna go with they, them. Those are my pronouns, and we can also name your character in the game. So character Rob. Oh, there's a little space there. So we're gonna go back, get rid of that space, and there we go. But yeah.
I really hope somebody does play this with the name of main character.
I did play it a lot.
That was me
with a lot of testing.
yesterday. I absolutely played the name of main character.
No, I mean when I play tested it, I left it there during one of my run throughs.
Yeah, no, it's I kind of felt like it was kind of like a little bit of an inside joke because that's what we kind of tested it as. So I decided to leave it as the kind of default.
I mean, in our own minds, aren't we all the main character in our own story?
You'd be surprised how many people feel like they're just NPCs. Like I met so many people.
100%.
They're like, no, I'm just secondary character. I'm like, oh, I'm going to drag you to the spotlight right now.
Yes.
Yeah, I sometimes go into NPC mode, but
and yeah, basically, yeah. So this opening here, where we opening with Texas, and by the way, you can name this cat right here.
We also had a question in chat again from Ale and Stora. Can we pet the cat? Which is the real questions. I think you're just gonna have to keep watching to find out the answer to that question.
I suppose you will. I'm not sure if we're gonna get to the part where that option may or may not be available. But that's why you can play the game. And I believe I put in the chat the link where you can play every single NaNoReNo 2022 entry, including our own. But yeah.
Yeah, our game is free to play.
Yes, all the games are I think almost all the games are free to play for NaNoReNo. I actually saw one game I think was priced, fair.
Gotcha.
But I think 99% of them are free.
It is worth noting that this game is free to play, but we have discussed this. If we do end up ever monetizing Portrait of a Texas Family, all of the proceeds will go directly to an LGBTQIAP+, particularly trans-focused organization, probably in Texas.
Yes.
So keep an eye out for that. If it ever changes, we are not going to be profiting off of this. We wanted to tell a very important story to as many people as we possibly could, and we did not feel right making money off what is a very dangerous and tragic situation. The story
100%.
itself is not tragedy porn. We really wanted to take pains to not write something that was entertaining yourself based on other people's very real fear and very real pain.
Exactly.
We took pains. The majority of the cast and crew involved in this project is LGBTQIAP+. We had checks along the way. We hired Raven Smith, a sensitivity reader.
She did a fantastic job.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We hired her because we wanted to do right by the people and the families that were being represented here. So yeah, but we just thought to ourselves, we don't want to cut a profit off this. The story is what's important. But if we decide that we want to have a pay what you can structure or anything, it will go straight to a nonprofit.
Yeah, 100%. But now here we are, kind of the first choice of the game for the player, where they basically get to decide to interact with your partner, Martine, and basically get to decide whether or not you want to talk to him or wait for him to get home. And yeah, this opening changed a bit uh, from our initial conception. Originally, it was a lot more non-linear, and I think uh, he decided, and this is also with Maxie, who, as I said before, was not only a voicing and casting director on the project, but also a script editor, really helped Meredith and I kind of focus the story and make it a little bit more
Mm-hmm.
linear, but also make it stronger because of that. And also, they helped cast one of our first voice actors, who's going to be coming up right here, uh, who played the role of Martine,
I know.
who is your partner in the game. Um,
Yeah, your
Yeah,
partner
I'm
is. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. Sorry, I'm not watching the Twitch stream because I'm not on I'm not on the screen. Sorry. So
oh, it's all
go
good.
ahead.
It's all good. But yeah, we had a really wonderful cast, and Maxie directed and cast our project. And, yeah, did a really incredible job finding some really talented people.
Oh yeah.
Um,
So your family is Miguel Lacaps Fuentes as Martine and Noelle Palmer as Sophia,
I'm winning.
and both of them killed it. They really did. There's so much personality in their performances. So great job casting them and giving them direction, uh, Maxie, because they were so sweet. I don't know if you had them record together or not.
No, we recorded individually because I was in a big rush because I was literally a couple of days away from leaving for San Francisco, so I didn't have time to record with anyone. I was like, come on, guys, we're recording, and like I had to record 4 people in 3 days, I believe.
No, that was incredible. Thank you so much
yeah,
for your hard work, especially with
really.
GDQ. That was on the horizon for you, but you as a director and a casting just killed it. Like I said, I love the personality that they both brought to the characters. There was so much warmth and sweetness, and we could not, I think, have driven the main themes of this story home without them,
100%.
for sure.
100%. And so, kind of transition here to basically the first kind of flashback of the game. Um, as the game is really centered around kind of exploring your house and finding memory objects for um, a safe folder, basically. And for those who don't know what a safe folder is, safe folder and the concept of a safe folder was discovered by me by this incredible mother named Amber Briggle, who's based in Denton, Texas, raising a transgender child. And she talked about um, the concept of a safe folder in a Twitter thread that we linked to at the end of this in our resources section, also in about section. And yeah, it's basically a folder of basically photos of you and child after they've affirmed their gender, drawings they've done of themselves after they've affirmed their gender, letters from teachers, neighbors, friends, principals that talk about how great of a family member you are, and other basically pieces of your life that are basically meant to help you really kind of protect your family against investigations from child protective services that think you're using your child, when of course all you're doing is loving them. And yeah, so the premise of our game is basically you're going around your house and collecting items for this safe folder, and kind of triggering the flashbacks moments where you and your partner and your child Sophia are basically having and living a normal family life, and just dealing with in normal, realistic, non-melodramatic ways. Because, like Meredith said it earlier, we did not want this story to be tragedy porn in any way. We really wanted it to be a slice of life story that is more realistic and more grounded. Feels more. From the reactions we've gotten from people, I think we accomplished that. Um, but yeah, it's so one of the memories is wanted to inspired by um, Meredith's own life of going to Galveston Beach during
So
the summer.
shout out to Kat Peterson, who the background designer for this scene, for making Galveston beach water look
You can see it in the
like
color,
the
yeah.
absolutely like opaque, filthy brown that it is in real life. If you look at pictures of Galveston Island on their website and you see sparkling blue water, that is Photoshop. I sent everyone in the Lookout Drives Discord server. When the water is blue in Galveston, it's newsworthy. There are actual
Yeah,
articles that are written that are like, "Whoa, the water is blue today."
yeah, yeah,
So just a shout out to Kat for that detail. I love it so much.
yeah,
It cracks me
100%.
up. That is because Galveston is not a beautiful beach.
No, no.
It has tar balls washing up on it. There's an oily sheen on it,
Hey, hon, do you
even
want to
when
go
there's
play
not
with
an
the other
oil
kids?
spill. It's
Yeah,
just bad. But it's just great work
Or
on that
do you
that
want to just sit here with
that
us for a while?
that water cat. Every time I see this, I crack up now.
yeah, yeah. It was there are a lot of really great details in a lot of these backgrounds that everyone on our team kind of brought to. Um,
Yeah, and
so
just to bring up too the rides and things.
It'll be your first
That
time
was
playing with
that's
other
the
kids
chemo
since
boardwalk.
you told
yeah,
us how you felt, right?
let me move my camera out of the way so kind of see that those little details.
Also, again, shout out to Jerry and Mix Ruck for the character design work. I love the expressions. Look at how wonderfully like nonplussed and dad-like Martine is,
Yeah,
and kind of the shyness there on
You're worried how
Sophia's
others might
face,
react.
and the main character. Yeah, look at that smile. Very
Okay.
yeah,
gentle,
We'll
very
make sure
so
nothing bad happens.
wonderful variety in the facial expressions. Just beautiful
yeah,
work all around.
And when you're
Everyone
done, you can come
really
right
brought
back,
their A
okay?
game and absolutely killed it. And if
yeah.
you are a game developer who is listening and watching, please hire everyone that has
100%.
participated in this. They
Yeah.
were just excellent, really sweet, wonderful,
You got it.
passionate people who really gave it their all. I cannot recommend every member of this team enough.
Yeah, everyone did a great job from our audio mixer, Sour Licks, our composer, Stefan Plummer. We had additional background art by Angelique of Sundari Studio. We had
Yeah, and
we
just
did
really
yeah.
quick
sorry.
plug for Tune Angelique's
Yes.
I just want to be single.
Yes, they have a crowdfunding campaign going on right now too.
Oh, it's such a hilarious concept. The cast is fantastic. I love the artwork. The idea of an anti-dating sim is so fun. So we definitely recommend that you check that out and show them some support on Kickstarter if you have the money. And if you don't, that's okay too. You can support them by just keeping an eye out for their work.
Yeah, 100%. And also, as I've said before, you can play all the NaNoReNo 2022 entries in the link that's in chat. And also, you can donate to the campaign for Southern Equality at the link that's posted in the chat as well. Please donate. Please help out an amazing organization in the South protecting LGBT people. Yeah. I think that's going to do it for us, though. I think we have another game get to, another wonderful dev to come on and talk about their entry for NaNoReNo 22. But I want to say, Meredith and Maxie, thank you so much both for joining me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us. And again, just everyone who participated. Rob, you, Mix Rock, Kat Peterson, Isaac M, Stephen Plummer, Soonjalik, Raven Smith, Maxie Molina, Miguel Lecaps Fuentes, Noel Palmer, Blair Green, Osako Duffy Weber, Cody Harding, Jeffrey Stanley, Kat Peterson, Katie133, Lunal Lucid, NPC Casey, and especially Amber Briggle, who,
Absolutely.
while Amber Briggle did not participate in the creation of this game, inspired it. So, all of you, beautiful work. Thank you for helping us
Absolutely.
put this out into the world. Thank you to the people that have played it already and talked about it, left comments. Thank you to those of you who are
100%.
watching in the chat right now. Thank you. It's scary to be LGBTQIA+ plus in Texas right now, even in the major cities that are comparatively safer. It's scary because they hate us. And your support, it doesn't have to be financial, just wanting to play, wanting to comment, wanting to show up. It chips away at the hate.
Absolutely.
And
Yes.
it means a lot more than you realize. It really does. So thank you so much. All right, sorry, I didn't mean to get teared up.
No, you're
We-
making
we-
me tear eyed. It's an important thing to remember.
Right. And
It's
It's
thank you for saying all
it's
that.
it's important to know that there's people behind every story, behind everything we hear, behind every why don't you just move away? There are people out there. You know,
yeah.
there's
Yeah.
a real story out there, and there's a
Yeah.
real
Yeah.
resistance.
And the thing is, it's Maxie, great point. Moving away is extremely hard when Texas is one of the lowest cost of living states.
Yeah.
We can't afford to relocate, many of us. Also, if you're a member of the LGBTQIA+ plus community, you are more likely to make less money than your cishet queers as well. So, yeah, just move is not an option. Just change, there's no such thing as just change, but we have to, if we have to stay put, we have to fight even if we don't want to. And we need people who may not necessarily be part of our community to also step in and help us fight. Particularly, we have also left resources on fixing our broken voting system here in Texas as well. That blocks progress. There are so many people in Texas who are wonderful people who are fighting bigotry tooth and nail every day until their fingers bleed. Texas, there is hope for Texas, but what we have to do is overturn the blocks that they are putting in place. Texas is a purple state. That is something that I need to, I can't articulate enough. Whenever I see a horrible natural disaster happening, like Harvey or Uri, the first thing I see alleged progressives say on social media is, "Well, what do you expect? It's Texas. They voted for this." No, we didn't. We really didn't. We had rigged, not ri- we had manipulated unfair elections that made that happen, because every single city here wants change. That is the majority of the population. But if you look
100%.
at the way we're districted, it is near impossible sometimes to vote in people. So LGBTQIA+ plus rights in Texas are inextricably tied in with voting rights. All right, sorry, I didn't mean to get on my soapbox and
I-
take over. It's a subject that clearly hits extremely close to home. But again, thank you for having me, Rob, and Maxie. Thank you for dropping in. I know that you've just got back from San Francisco, so you've probably got jet lag. So it means a lot that you stopped in.
Anytime. I'd see you all,
Yeah.
everyone.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much. Thank you both.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Well, that was a wonderful passion speech by Meredith. So I encourage you all, like, just being here, just watching, supporting, speaking out. It's important. It's extremely important. And as I said before, if you are able to financially donate as well, please do at the link that I posted in the chat for the campaign for Stubborn Equality. Yeah, we have $50 already donated and raised, which is amazing. So feel free. Any little bit counts. $1, you know, however much or little you can donate. If you're able to donate, it's much appreciated. And if not, feel free to hang in the chat. Listen to a lot of amazing game developers talk about their games today for NaNoReNo. You know, spread the word about the stream, about the campaign, and about protecting trans rights, LGBTQIA+ rights, and marginalized